An FBI agent spent weeks sitting in a dark room trying to figure you out by running every piece of data he had through a high-level simulation. He was trained to find the breaking point in any human being, to predict exactly how a person will react when the pressure gets turned up too high. He plugged in your history, your habits, and your past weaknesses, expecting the computer to show him a person who would eventually fold. He wanted to see you scramble, see you beg, or see you lose your mind when the world finally backed you into a corner. But as the simulation ran, the screen didn't show a breakdown or a desperate cry for help like he expected to see. Instead, the outcome started to shift into something he had never encountered in all his years of studying the criminal mind. The agent watched as the digital version of you faced every possible nightmare he could throw at the screen, from total isolation to public humiliation. In every single scenario, the result came back exactly the same. You simply went silent and became completely unreachable by any external force. The simulation showed that no matter how much pressure was applied, you didn't give the expected emotional response that they use to track and control people. You weren't fighting back with noise or anger. You were simply withdrawing your energy until the system had nothing left to measure. The computer couldn't find a single hook to grab onto, and the agent started to realize that he was looking at someone who had mastered the art of total internal control. It was a ghost in the machine that he couldn't predict, and that realization started to make his skin crawl. The outcome terrified him because it proved that you are the one person the system cannot actually profile or put into a neat little box. Most people are like open books to an expert like him because their fears and their needs make them incredibly easy to manipulate from a distance. But your silence acted like a black hole that swallowed every attempt at psychological profiling before it could even begin to take root. The agent saw that you had reached a level of detachment where you no longer care about the things that keep most of the population in line. You don't care about their opinions. You don't care about their threats. And you don't care about playing the social games they've designed. You are a wild card in a world of predictable pawns. And that makes you the most dangerous person he has ever seen. He sat there staring at the final report, realizing that if he ever had to face you in real life, he would have absolutely no leverage to use against you. He realized that your silence isn't just a habit. It is a shield that is so thick even the most advanced government psychological tools can't pierce through it. He saw that you have learned how to turn your emotions off like a light switch, leaving nothing for a predator or a manipulator to feed on. To a man who makes his living by controlling others, a person who cannot be moved is the ultimate nightmare scenario. He saw a person who could walk through fire without flinching, simply because you have decided that the fire doesn't have permission to hurt you. You are a fortress with no doors and no windows, and he knew right then that he was completely outmatched. The simulation showed that while everyone else was busy reacting to the chaos, You were the only one who remained perfectly calm and centered in the storm. The agent realized that your genius isn't in what you say, but in everything you choose to withhold from the world around you. By giving nothing away, you keep all the power for yourself and leave your enemies guessing until they eventually drive themselves insane with doubt. He watched the digital version of you win every single conflict by simply outlasting the opposition through the sheer force of your quiet resolve. It wasn't a fair fight, because you weren't playing by the rules of human nature that he had spent his entire career studying. You had evolved past the need for the very things that make most people weak and easy to break. The agent felt a cold chill run down his spine as the computer screen flashed a warning that the simulation was unable to find a way to defeat you. He had tried every tactic in the book, from the most subtle psychological nudges to the most aggressive forms of mental warfare, and nothing worked. You were like a shadow that couldn't be caught, or a sound that couldn't be muted, existing on a level that he couldn't even begin to touch. He realized that your greatest strength is the fact that you have stopped being a victim and started being a witness to their desperate attempts at control. You are watching them while they are trying to watch you, and your perspective is much clearer than theirs could ever hope to be. You have become the predator in the room, and he was the one who felt like prey. He began to wonder how many other people like you are out there, moving in silence and staying under the radar of the people who think they run the world. The idea that someone can be completely unbothered by the pressure of the system is the one thing that keeps people in his position awake at night. They rely on your fear to keep the wheels turning. But you have found the off switch for fear, and you've thrown it away for good. The agent realized that you are a living, breathing error code in their perfect program of social engineering and mass manipulation. You are the proof that a single person can become untouchable just by refusing to participate in the nonsense that everyone else accepts as reality. Your silence is a weapon of mass disruption, and he was terrified of what would happen if you ever decided to use it. He quickly deleted the files and the simulation data, trying to pretend that he had never seen the terrifying truth about your hidden potential. He didn't want his superiors to know that there is a person out there who has figured out the secret to being truly free from their influence. But he couldn't delete the memory of the way the computer showed you standing tall while everything else around you was crumbling into dust. He knew that from that day forward, he would always be looking over his shoulder, wondering if you were the one watching him from the shadows. You have become his personal ghost, a reminder that there are some souls that simply cannot be owned, managed, or predicted by any man-made system. You are the glitch that they can't fix, and that is the most powerful thing you could ever be. Think about the power you hold in your hands right now, knowing that even the experts are afraid of the silence you have cultivated within yourself. You don't need their technology or they're training to be a master of your own environment. You just need to keep doing exactly what you are doing. Every time you choose to stay quiet, instead of arguing, you are reinforcing the fortress that terrified that agent in his secret simulation. You are building a life that is so solid and so self-contained that no outside force can ever hope to knock it down or break it apart. You are the master of the no response. And in a world that is addicted to reactions, that makes you a god among mortals. Keep them guessing, keep them silent, and keep them terrified of the genius that they can't see. The outcome of that secret test wasn't just a warning to the agent. It was a testament to the incredible work you have done on your own mind and soul. You have reached a state of being where you are no longer a subject to be studied, but a force to be reckoned with by anyone who dares to cross your path. You have become the very thing that the people in power fear most, an individual who is truly and completely independent of their games. Your silence is the ultimate declaration of independence. And it is a message that is being heard loud and clear by the people who are watching from the shadows. You have already won the psychological war, and you did it without ever having to say a single word to anyone. You are the ghost in their machine, and you are finally free. What the agent saw in that screen was the birth of a new kind of power that doesn't rely on status, money, or the loud opinions of the crowd. He saw a person who had found the core of their own being and decided to stay there no matter what kind of chaos was happening on the outside. He realized that your silence is actually a form of extreme intelligence that allows you to see the world as it really is, rather than how they want you to see it. You are no longer being fooled by the smoke and mirrors of the social matrix, and that makes you a threat to the very foundation of their control. You are the one who has unplugged from the system. And the agent was terrified because he is still trapped inside the very machine he tries to use on you. You are the master of your own destiny, and he is just a spectator. When you walk into a room now, you should carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they have already been tested by the best and found to be unbreakable.